Radicals at Portland. Or Porsches. Event starts at 19:45. That's in an hour. If I've got my timing right, that's an hour. And that one starts in 20 minutes. I mean, I like the Radicals. I don't know if I like them around Portland. But, But that was fun. That was a bit of a different thing. I could join the practice server for the Radicals and see what it's like. But the only way I'm going to gain safety rating and stuff is if I'm racing the Porsches. Let's try joining the practice server of these. The Mr. Bean car! It came second. Right, what's the car I normally take? Kind of like that one. But I also need to go cook dinner as well, so... I don't know. I think I've driven Laguna Seca in VR before. In a multitude of sims. There's a 60s version of Laguna Seca in Assetto Corsa. It's actually very, very similar to the modern day, although the pit lane is on the other side of the main straight. Some of the corner profiles are a little bit narrower, but it's still I don't. What does that word mean? Kosh to Mr. Bean. Did they see my paint job? I thought we. I don't know. Did they see my paint job? Interesting. Right. Monza. Load. Save. Save setup. Assign. So, we first of all want to put some wing on, because it's Laguna Seca. For crying out loud. We said something about Mr. Bean in the chat. So... maybe, well, it's a Mini, isn't it? So, Mr. Bean. It's just a coincidence that I'm running a Mr. Bean paint job. But they must have seen a lot of my rear end on their stream. As it were.
Okay, I'll spot.
I have no idea. I've never raced this in the dark. Ever.
Pit exit looks clear.
Right. Got to get out of the habit now. I don't need to blip on downshift.
Air temperature's decreasing. It's now 18 Celsius.
I also want to turn auto clutch off. Ow!
Sector 2 is now yellow. Green flag, sector 2. Looks like P5's binned it. Yellow flag in sector 3. We can see McCarty has stacked it. Green flag in sector 3.
Do I have a motion rig? No. Can't afford that. I was thinking of actually investing in the there's like a cushion thing which gives you a little bit of feedback on it. I don't know how a motion rig would be in VR. And I don't think my neighbours would like it either.
Yellow flag. Green flag, sector 3.
Oh, not the butt kicker. It's a haptic cushion. By Next Level Racing. But again, I'm not sure whether it shouldn't get picked up by the microphone because it's not a sound thing.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
But I haven't been able to get an answer whether it's
You're 2/10 off the pace in sector
got
1.
native support for rFactor. Because if it hasn't got native support, then it
Sector
just
2
works
is
on
clear.
sound output, which is not good enough. Because as I get older with my sim racing, I kind of want something with a bit more feel. I've obviously got my direct drive wheel. But my bum is particularly numb. There's no feeling through the seats, so I wanted...
P2.
Yeah, that worked out great for you, didn't it?
Left side's clear. Yellow flag, sector 1. We think P5's gone off.
You swiped
Forget
across
about
my
that. It'll
nose
probably
and
just
then
polish out.
fucked it on exit.
You're a second off the pace in sector 1.
What you've also got to watch out for is people that drive with their ego. Sometimes when they're overtaken, you can see their ego is on show. You can sometimes sense it. And I mean, we're in a
Green
practice
flag,
server.
sector 1.
There is no need to squabble. You're not going to gain anything by racing someone on a practice server. And I gained on them. But they didn't feel like, oh, I don't want to let him pass. You know, it's a very strange affliction. Just hoping that I can, now that I can actually see through my rear view mirror, not like in the mirror, not like in the Mini, I can see jack
2/10 off the pace in sector 1.
because my relative thing was covering it. I do like the Porsche. I'm not very fast in it, but Now, weirdly enough, you would have thought that the corkscrew would give you like a, you know, stomach in your throat type feeling, but it doesn't in VR.
Yellow flag in sector 1. We think that a Cardi has gone off. Green flag, sector 1.
Left side, there's a car. Left side's clear.
Yellow flag, sector 2. We think Bielek has gone off. Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate. Green flag, sector 2. It looks like a Cardi has crashed. Sector 1 is 0.40 off the pace.
I did a series with these, with the league that I'm in. The series had 6 races. I didn't win a single one of them. Some of them had like, well, it was a variable weather league. Oh, that's not how you do that, go on. Had variable weather, so we did 2 races out of the 6 in the rain.
Sector 1 is green.
Silverstone and Hungary, the Hungaroring. I managed to win the series, and I didn't even win a race.
Yellow flag.
So it just goes to show that consistency pays off.
Sector 1 is now green, your quickest overall.
I'll show you.
Incident in sector 1, yellow flag.
Well, I won't be able to show you all the graphical things, but I'll show you what I've got set. Will it show me anything? No, it doesn't, unfortunately. As far as graphics is concerned, I've turned maybe a couple of things down, like opponent details. I haven't. I only run my post effects on low because I don't need any like depth of field or anything. Special effects and things are on low. I can see the thing down the bottom of the car.
You're all clear, stay behind the line. Sector 1 is green.
Because I did a series with these cars as well, the cadence of the gear changes takes a little while to get used to. So with this car specifically, and maybe others with the gear shift protection, you've got
looks
to
like Bielek has binned it.
Change down quite late in the rev range. I haven't quite found out where the turn-in point down the hill is. There it is. Maybe let's try some push laps. Oh, came into that turn too fast. can't remember what the last league race at Laguna Seca I did was. I remember I had a bit of a annoying race when I was racing it in iRacing. It came up in the calendar with the Lotus 79s. Now, I wasn't very quick in the Lotus 79s, so I didn't really have the feel or the commitment like other people. And I was just kind of, you know, doing the race like I normally do. Trying to keep out of trouble. And there was a guy that I think had maybe binned it near the start of the race and was coming up fast through the field. And generally, I mean, I race people. I'm not overly defensive. I tend to use my brain when it comes
in sector 2. I think P6
to those
has
things.
gone off.
Whoops. And so he approached me at kind of a, you know, huge rate of knots. But as soon as he kind of came up against
Yellow flag, sector 2.
trying to pass me, he just couldn't do it. Now, I wasn't
Bielek has spun off.
I wasn't being overly defensive in my driving. I was just keeping on the racing line. But he still couldn't pass. And in the end, he got so pissed off that he drove through me rather than around me.
Sector 3 time is quick.
So going up the hill towards the corkscrew, so the fast left-hander, he basically left his braking too late and just nudged me off into the gravel. And I was a bit perturbed because obviously that ruined my race. I don't think I retired or anything. I finished eventually, but having to drive with damage wasn't
Yellow flag,
good.
caution.
And
I think P5 has gone off.
Brake too late for that. And so I was on
Sector
voice
2's
chat,
green.
and I said, "Well, you know, what do you think you're doing?" And his excuse was, "Well, I caught you at a rate, you know. I caught you very, very fast. You should have let me by." And this confused me. I was like, "Sorry, what? Doesn't matter how fast you are. I have no obligation to let you by. Because we're racing. We're not. This isn't a time trial. This is racing."
Sector 3 time's okay.
But that didn't seem to compute. The whole concept of I'm faster than you, so I should be in front of you, so let me through mentality. And I was like, I don't get it. What? That's not what racing is. If it was, then we should have just based the race on the qualifying times and have done with it. You know?
Sector 1 time is good.
Very odd. And he wouldn't hear any other
Yellow flag
point
in
of view.
sector 2.
That was his point of view, and that was it.
Looks like P5's binned it.
No
Green
amount
flag
of
in
me
sector
saying
2.
that you're supposed to race, not go through other cars. And just like, well, I was faster than you. So, not a very good experience last time I was at Laguna Seca
Yellow flag.
racing in anger.
Sector 2 is 2/10 off the pace.
I think I have raced here in rFactor 2 a little while ago, but I can't remember what cars we were racing in. But so, there are some people that are of the mentality that
Green flag, sector 2.
if they're faster, they should be let through, just to make it easier for them, in some respects. So they don't have to race you. So they don't have to use any racing skill. And then I think some
Green
people
flag, sector 1.
have actually
I think P5's gone off.
believed that mentality, and they will say, oh well, that guy's faster than me, I should let them by. I'm of the opinion, no, you shouldn't.
New fastest lap for Nieto, 126.84.
You run your own race, as long as you don't ruin your own race to keep them behind, then it's fine. I like to drive. I was going to say methodically. I like to drive my races so the person behind has to think whereabouts they're going to place their car.
Off the pace.
I'm in front, so I get to choose my racing line, as long as I'm not weaving around.
P2. Sector 3 is 0.29 off the pace.
That's kind of how, in one of my league races recently, we were racing in the USF 17 car, and we were racing at Sebring. The leader went off and pulled out a gap, and I was in third. The person in second,
Sector 1 time's okay.
made a mistake, so I was able to get by. And then they spent the rest of the race stuck behind me. They were faster, but because I was choosing my lines very, very carefully, and I knew about momentum and stuff like that, I was able to keep them behind for the whole race. There was only, I think, once, maybe twice, where I went to the inside to defend my line. The rest of the time was just lapping as normal. So, and I mean, the satisfaction I get from doing that kind of thing. I do prefer to chase, of course, rather than be chased. I think every racer prefers that. But it's much more satisfying.
Sector 1 is quick.
I mean, I'm not a racer here just to make up numbers, you know. I'm here to race.
Sector 2 is now yellow. We think Bielek has binned it. Green flag, sector 2.
Whoop.
Car left side's clear.
I also try my best to, if I'm talking to people, you know, whether it be from my
Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace.
from the league that I'm in or what. I mean, it doesn't matter if I end up lapping you or you end up lapping me. Everyone on the track deserves respect.
P3.
I sometimes make a point on my stream.
Yellow flag, sector 2.
When I am
Sector 2
lapping
is now green. We think
other
that
cars.
Cardi has spun off.
I mean, it doesn't happen very often that I'm lapping the field. There is sometimes an occasion where, whoopsie daisy, where I find a series where I can
Yellow flag.
have some pace against the other drivers, but if I'm lapping someone, I want them to stay where they are. I don't want them to move out of my way. I would much rather they stay on the racing line so I know where they are. And then it's the faster car, the lapping car's responsibility to pass. I was trying to make a point of that. You're exactly right, yeah. The slower cars are sometimes better. You know, sometimes get better racing out of a slower car. Because it takes a different technique. I sometimes suck at it because of the fact that you need to keep momentum and things like that. Momentum is very difficult for me. But I enjoyed the series that we did in the Porsche.
Exits clear. Push. Green flag in sector 1. Yellow
a
flag
couple
sector
of the
2.
races I
We
finished
think
quite.
Castellano has binned it.
I finished quite high up in a couple of the races just because I was careful. I didn't overdrive.
Green flag sector 2.
I mean, going fast is one thing, but going beyond your skill level and the limits of the car grip. You know, sometimes you just gotta say, well, I'm not going to be going this fast at this point in the race, or you think of the bigger picture, you know? Slow and steady wins the race, exactly right.
Yellow flag. Sector 2's green. That's a new fastest lap for Gill, 125.45.
I mean, I would be very scared to do
The car ahead has just done it, 125.72.
in this car, because I think a lot of people will try some really strange manoeuvres. A strange manoeuvre at this track is trying to pass up at the corkscrew, which rarely works.
P4.
But I don't think there's many passing opportunities around this racetrack unless you've got a little bit of a pace advantage. But I like this car.
Incident in sector 2, yellow flag.
It sounds good. It, you know,
We think that Bacardi has gone off. Sector 2 is clear.
feels good. I mean, I was lucky enough to be a part of the Le Mans pre-show, and we did I think it was a 30-minute race in these Porsche 992s, and it was all like you know, YouTubers and influencers, and then there's me. I actually finished quite high up as well. I was quite chuffed with that. But the broadcast, I did watch back the broadcast. You probably saw me at the start.
Heads up,
But
there's a
that's
car
the
exit in the pits.
That's the last you saw of me
Sectors
because
1 and 2 are 1.1 seconds off the pace.
because of
Sector
other
3
action
is
on the track.
0.49 off the pace.
But I find this car quite satisfying. It bites. Have I run VLC? No. I'm not really an endurance racer. I don't have the stamina. Shouldn't really be racing for this. Racing for this long. I wonder if that was my big black line.
He's on your left. You're on the left.
Incidents in Sector 2, yellow flag. Yellow flag in Sector 1.
I mean, I was very skeptical. I was very skeptical about this race control stuff because, obviously there was a barrier to entry with rFactor. Couldn't just join races. That was always the hardest
off
part.
the pace in Sector 3.
But I have a very, what's the word, sour opinion of just pickup racing in general. You know, why would I want to race against random people when I can race against people that I know and I can trust? But it has, I think it's done, even though it's in beta and it still has its features and bugs.
Fastest lap for Gill, 125.23.
It's going to pull in the people. Because,
The car ahead has just done a 126.26.
I mean, sometimes life's too stressful to worry about, you know, configuring things. In the day and age of computer games, everything wants to be plug and play, and it is in this system, kind of.
Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace.
But I mean, I've been racing in leagues for quite some time, and I'm quite happy racing against the same people every week. You know, I've experienced iRacing.
Green flag in Sector 2. It looks like Gill has crashed.
And racing against random people that are sometimes ego-driven and toxic by definition. They're not racers, they're rating chasers. That's I mean, it can only get better, really. I think there's no.
That's a new fastest lap for Sloan, 124.27.
I'm kind of intrigued at how this is going to integrate with Le Mans Ultimate. I mean, I'm not really an endurance racer, but it might be quite fun just to, you know, the team that is behind the takeover from
Okay,
where
Neil,
this
there's a
game
car exit
was.
in the pits, heads up.
A few of them I know
P5.
personally. A few of them I consider friends. So, you know, race with them in the past, being in leagues with them in the past. And they are a very creative bunch. And obviously, taking over a platform which was already established, you know, they didn't create the code base. They had to kind of
Sector 2 is yellow.
work out
Sector 1 is 1.4
How to
seconds off the pace.
do
We can
different
see
things
Kerner
with it.
has gone off. Green flag in Sector 2.
like, you know, shoehorn modern technologies into it, which must have been really difficult. But now with Le Mans Ultimate, they can kind of put everything that they've ever wanted in
Yellow flag in Sector
a
2.
sim racing game, you know, without the restrictions of breaking
Sector 2 is now
modded
green.
content or, you know,
Sector 2 is 2.0 seconds off the pace.
they can kind of start from scratch, as it were. So, Yeah, Le Mans Ultimate is a completely separate title.
P4.
Coming out next month.
Incident in Sector 2. Sector 2 is yellow. Sector 3 is 2/10 off the pace.
And obviously it only focuses on the WEC season. So it's a focused game on a certain series. But they're able to put, like, I don't know if you've seen the screenshots of the dirty cars and stuff like that. They're able to put things in it like that.
Sector 1 is 1.8 off the pace.
Whoop! Nearly turned too much then. I still don't know what to aim for when I'm going through the court screen.
Green flag, Sector 2.
So I need to be on the left as most as I can.
Sector 2 is 1.4 off the pace.
Weirdly, I actually feel more confident around here than I did at Monza. It's odd.
Sector 3 is 0.48 off the pace. Sector 2 is now yellow. It looks like Sloan has stacked it. Green flag, Sector 2.
Forgot what gear I was supposed to be in.
Sector 1 is 0.7 off the pace. We think Castellano has binned it.
There's always that thing where...
Sector 3 is yellow. We think that Lopez has gone off.
Alright, right side's clear.
Green flag in Sector 3.
You fucked it, Bruce!
Incident in Sector 2, yellow flag. We think Gill has stacked it. Green flag, Sector 2. Green flag, Sector 1.
Let him have the place and everything. But there is one thing about having a small testing group with this race control, is that you do see familiar faces ever so often. So you do kind of get to know certain people. You get to know who to avoid as well. You know? So there is that.
Sector 1 is 0.9 off the pace.
And I think before this as well, I hadn't actually checked what the rFactor 2 category on Twitch was like. But as I mentioned in the mini race,
Sector 3 is yellow.
I am outnumbered
Sector 3 is now clear.
By the Europeans.
Sector 1 is yellow. Sector 2 is 1.9 seconds off the pace. It looks like Accardi has spun off.
Oh, I braked a bit too late then. Leave me alone.
Okay, no more updates.
You know, usually I was the only person in the category. But this race control thing has inspired people to pick it up again. It gives them something to do, something to chase. Something to grind. You know, it's like It's like the rFactor 2 RPG, you know? I found 0.4 of a second from somewhere. Just don't fuck up the bloody corkscrew. I lit up the rear tyres then.
Guy on your left. You're clear on the left.
Oh, ouch. I did it again. It's the same. You'd think my arms would be getting fitter by doing sim racing with a direct drive wheel. I don't know if I'm getting stronger or not. But... oh, crap. Doesn't help that you're sitting for quite a while. 126.1. Look at the pole time, 124.2. Oof, dearie me. I mean, I was just lapping there. I did push at the end when I saw that I was up. But, I mean, you see the usual faces. Obviously, I raced against Bruno before. Jose Coelho was in the last race. So was Dean Hart. So you do see some familiar faces. So, and Gary Monreal raided him yesterday. But sometimes the problem with it as well is I don't really want to raid into a stream where no one's speaking English, because I don't know what my viewers might not like going to a stream where they can't understand a word that anybody's saying, you know. So it makes it very difficult of who to raid into, you know. So looks like they've already started the radical race. Ah, never mind. Never mind. So when is this one? Starts in 22 minutes. I really should go eat, and I'll maybe do this race if I can figure out the time to do it tomorrow. Then I will, because I've not got a lot of work on at the moment. So let's have a look. Is there any one particular? We're gonna do. I don't know. Where's this race? Race. We've got 30 minutes left. A friend of mine, a teammate of mine, if you will, called Ben Summers. He races a lot of iRacing, and he's doing. I think he's in the GTC. What is it? Well, it's called the Camel Series, and he's at Imola. It looks very interesting indeed. So we'll raid him. Let's go say hello to Ben. Oh, because I'm exhausted. I need to go have my fish fingers and chips. But thanks everyone for watching. That we managed to get that. We managed to get the mini race done. Got a second place out of that without boning it. And and we did a little bit of Porsche practice. We'll come back to the Porsches because I do feel quite comfortable. Passing at Laguna and avoiding accidents is going to be a big problem. So, but I hope I could provide some English-speaking coverage. And be sure to join me on Saturday as well. That's my scheduled stream for this week, League Racing. We're doing the USF 2000s on Saturday, but those are normally bi-weekly, and we end up doing like weird other streams like this in between. I still got to get back to doing Kerbal Space Program at some point. Got to launch my satellites into space. But we'll get to that eventually. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let's go say hello to Ben and see how he's doing at Imola. And I'll speak to you a bit later on.